Take a screenshot of this if you're ever at an appointment and someone's got a posterior tilt and you're not sure what to do. Number 1, the transfer. This is probably one of the most common reasons for a posterior tilt. Most commonly with the hoist transfer, because when you picture it, right, they get lifted up into a sling, they go down on a 45-degree angle, and their butt lands halfway into the seat, and then that's it. When someone is being hoist transferred, there's two things you either want to do. You either want to hold onto those back straps as they come down to make sure the hips go all the way back, or you use the tilt function on the hoist and then lower them into the chair. If the chair has tilt, you're going to want to make sure the chair's in tilt as you lower them down to make sure the hip goes all the way back into the corner of the chair. And it's also an issue with either a stand transfer where someone's standing and they sort of plot themselves into the chair, or a slide transfer where they're sliding across and then that's it. So before you get started, what you want to do is ask them to either reposition themselves by pushing onto the armrest, or put the person to tilt and with 1 or 2 person assist, grab their bottom and then slide them back into the chair as best you can. A good way to check this, usually what I do is I ask the client to lean forward. So if I ask the client to lean forward and I see there's a bit of space between the backrest and their hips, I'll either try to pull them back or I'll ask them to push back a little bit more, and that way I know they're all the way back into the chair. Once the transfer is sorted, now you can look at the chair. First thing you want to do is use tilt or rake in the chair. Now tilt is when the whole chair goes back, and rake is just when the seat goes back, but then the backrest would be up. So rake is more used in a manual chair, and tilt is used in more tilt and space chairs or power wheelchairs. Gravity is your friend. Let gravity sink him back because gravity does not go uphill. Number 3, make sure the seat depth isn't too long. I'm gonna need my assistant. So what you want to do is make sure the seat depth isn't too long. If this cushion was 2 inches longer, then Emma would not be able to come back into this chair because the cushion would stop her knees from coming back. Just because old mate scripted it 2 inches long on the previous chair doesn't mean you have to do the same thing. Number 4, adjust the foot plate height. If someone's legs are swinging or even if they're only just touching the foot plate, they don't have any pressure pushing them back to stop them sliding out of the chair. So what you want to do is make sure you lift the foot plate up high enough that their legs are right here. Too high and you're going to have some space under here and you're not going to get good femoral loading, and too low is they're going to have a tendency to slide out of the chair. Number 5, adjust the armrest height. If someone's armrests are too low, they're either going to lean left or right to make contact to them, or they're going to slide forward to make contact if they've got a weak core. That's where they're going to be comfortable. So coming back up, so what you want to do is make sure the armrest is at a height where it doesn't elevate the shoulder, but there's no hanging where people have to slide down to make contact with it. Number 6, use a padded hip belt. This is not a padded hip belt. Now, you need to use a padded hip belt in the right way. One way is to make sure it's snug, so it actually holds the hips in, so if it's loose, it's not doing anything to stop a posterior tilt. And 2, make sure it's positioned in the right way. I'll do this in another video, but basically, 45 degree, not the right way. 60 degree, great way. Number 8, you want to use a pelvic block. So if you're sitting down somewhere right now, grab a fist, put them right behind the bones over here. This is called your PSIS. So often people think lumbar support is a great way to stop a posterior tilt, but a better way is to actually push on the back of the pelvis to tip it forward. Number 9, the backrest angle. If this position is as close as the backrest angle is going to be, if you try to put them into something like a 90-degree backrest, they're only going to slide forward because they can't accommodate them. So what you want to do is accommodate for that hip rest angle and open up the backrest. Just note that if you do this, if you open up the backrest angle without the use of tilt, the person's going to have a tendency to slide out. So if you are opening a backrest angle above, say, 100 degrees, you're going to want to consider tilt or rake to make sure gravity is still keeping them back into the chair. And number 10 is the leg rest angle. We're going to talk about that in the next video.